Okay. Again, to reiterate this, hold down to proceed forward on the world map, up to go backwards. We will be going backwards later, which is worth noting, but to proceed forward after beating stage 3, 2, 1, etc., hold down. 1-4 is one of 2 water levels in the game. Nobi is a very slow swimmer. Doraemon is not. So the strategy in this stage is to get to the water as Nobi. Now, we need to go roughly in this direction. There's a couple ways you can go about it. You can try to just sort of hold the correct direction. Let's re-enter the level, and I'll show you what that looks like. You can sort of just try to hold the correct direction. The disadvantage here is you'll need to memorize when to jump, because you'll want to cover as much ground in this direction before swimming as possible. You can also just quickly press R to rotate the camera around. It doesn't lose too much time, but it is going to be a bit slower because the game does lag when we're facing in that direction, as you will see. But anyway, we need to go in this direction. Try to jump as close to the edge as possible so we cover as much horizontal distance as you absolutely can. Then we're going to pause pretty much as soon as we get in the water. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the character select screen, and again, you can buffer that input, meaning once you press A on this menu here, you can just hold right, and it'll go straight to Doraemon. Doraemon is a much faster swimmer, so we're going to be playing as him in this stage. But we also need to do something else, and we need to redeem our first item of the run. Technically, it's the second, because I redeemed this item, if you all recall, to light up an area, but ignore that. This would normally not be seen in an any percent run. Moving on. The item we need to redeem is this here, the submarine cream. At least that's what I call it. The item basically allows us to dive deep down into the water. The quickest way about this menuing is essentially like so. You want to press A, down, A, A down, A on the middle option, then go up and use the item. This will allow us to swim down. I turned around because there's something to talk about going into this hole. Now that is another thing. We never have to swim up, but if we did, it's quicker to scoot into something. Anyway, when swimming down, you can actually clip by holding up into the edge of that. It's very useful. Notice we do have an air meter. There is an item you can use that gives you infinite air, but we're not going to be using it in the run because we don't need it. Try as best as you can when swimming up through this tunnel here to grab these 4 sprays. This is also a decent spot to do some early game farming for sprays. Some runners choose to come back out of the door and gather those 4 sprays. Also, you can destroy these rocket ships and such and get some spray drops as well, but they also could be heart drops. I typically don't mess with those in my runs, but it is a more than likely viable option if RNG is on your side. Anyway, go in this door, and you want to grab this card key. At this point, you could go back out and farm sprays. Either way, when you're done with this section of the stage, pause and immediately go into your menu, left, and use the Anywhere door. We're going to exit the level and re-enter. It's quicker than swimming back up through the stage. We're going to stay as Doraemon because we're going to swim, but this time we want to go straight. As straight as possible from the exact spot we load in. Again, hold up on the joystick here to get that little clip. It saves a little bit of time, pushes us down faster. When we get to this door, we use the card key that we just picked up. So at this point, we're going to redeem our main weapon for the game. This is pretty much the best point to do so. Oh, that's something worth mentioning. A good majority of the weapons also need to be redeemed with sprays. We're not going to redeem all of them by any means, but we are going to redeem a few of them. This is the main weapon for combat here, the Faint Bang Grenade. It's very useful, as you're about to see. Anyway, make sure to equip it. Try to do a jump grenade throw to hit him. Hopefully he'll drop a spray. He did. grab this crystal, come over here, try not to run into him like I just did, and then through the door. And that's level 1-4.